Welcome, fellow curious minds. Have you ever forgotten your friend's birthday, misremembered a vital piece of information on test day, or misplaced your car keys for the umpteenth time? Frustrating, isn't it? But what if those pesky memory lapses were a thing of the past? What if... Hold on, hear me out. What if you could remember everything? Intriguing, isn't it? Unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we explore the what-ifs that shape our world. Today, we plunge into the labyrinth of your gray matter, the engine room of memories, your magnificent brain. In our quest to know what would happen if we could remember everything, let's first understand how memory works. Our memories are like bits of a jigsaw puzzle, meticulously pieced together by a trio of memory types. First, there's sensory memory, which lasts only a couple of seconds. Then comes short-term memory, the sticky notes of your brain that retains information for about 15 to 30 seconds. Finally, the heavyweight champion, long-term memory, our own personal hard drives that can store data for potentially an entire lifetime. So, now that we've got all that jargon out of the way, let's dive into this sea of memories unrestricted. Imagine remembering your first step, the first sound, your third birthday, or even the taste of that mashed broccoli you spat out when you were a baby. Sounds cool, right? Every moment of your life, every sensation, every experience cataloged precisely. But here's the catch. There is always a catch. Information overload. Anyone? With a complete record of everything that ever happened to you constantly at hand, distinguishing crucial memories would be as easy as finding a needle in a haystack. Like, whom are you going to call on for help when you're lost in the city? The directions given by your friend, or the lyrics of the song that was playing when you got lost? That's right, my friends. While the prospect of remembering everything may seem appealing, it's not without its cons. And let's not forget the ability to let go of bad memories, a crucial coping mechanism for our mental health. But let's be honest, remembering where you put your car keys every time would be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? So, that's our deep dive into the what if of remembering everything. Would it be a blessing, a curse, or a bit of both? It's a riddle only time or a lot of neuroscientific advancements may unravel. If you enjoyed this cerebral trip, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. After all, we've got plenty of other hypothetical rabbit holes to dive into together here at What If Lab. Until next time, keep wondering and keep wandering in the realm of what ifs. Hey, have you ever looked at that pile of plastic on your kitchen counter, or maybe at your local rubbish dump and thought, what if all this could be gold? Okay, probably not, but just stay with me here. Welcome to What If Lab, unlocking the wonders of the hypothetical, where we get into the deep, sometimes weird, but always fascinating what ifs that shape our world. So buckle up. Discard any reasonable expectations of scientific reality, and let's dive into today's captivating question: what if we could turn plastic into gold? But first, let's get a little sober before we swim in Goldpool's Scrooge McDuck style. You and I, we know that plastic is a problem, right? Approximately 8.3 billion tons of plastic have been produced since the 1950s, and the majority of it is still cluttering our beautiful planet. It's in our oceans, landfills, even our poor, unsuspecting birds are chowing down on the stuff, thinking it's the latest cuisine trend. Too bad their stomachs can't digest HDPEs and polypropylene. Now gold, that's a whole different game. A precious metal we've valued since time began. Coveted for its beauty, rarity, and malleability, it's been the cause of wars, the symbol of wealth, and the material of choice for wannabe rappers' grills. Imagine then if we could somehow convert all this plastic waste into bountiful bars of golden goodness. An alchemical dream come true, except instead of a philosopher's stone, we'd need a new groundbreaking scientific method or a magic wand from Hogwarts. How life might change. With such an abundance of gold, would we still trim our Christmas trees with plastic baubles or transfer to ornaments a la King Midas? Would throwing away a gold-wrapped sandwich feel as casually wasteful as it currently does its plastic counterpart? But there's a flip side. Gold prices would plummet faster than a lead balloon, making it as valuable as the plastic we started with. Economies worldwide would crumble. Gold reserves would become about as valuable as Monopoly money, and who knows, maybe we'd start a black market trade of plastic bottle caps. And there might even be an environmental twist, you know. Plastic into gold could be a game changer for the environment. All that plastic waste that is currently choking the life out of fish, transformed into harmless gold dust that's environmentally friendly, right? Well, who knows? Well, now that we are rolling down the hill of hypothetical haywire, it's time to say goodbye. Of course, this what-if scenario may sound like something straight from a fantasy novel. But hey, that's what we do here at What If Lab. Some of these what-ifs are just for fun. Others might make you think differently about the world around you. Before you get back to staring hopelessly at your plastic waste or looking longingly at your dream solid gold toilet, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. After all, we are the place to come when you want to entertain ideas that take you far from the regular, the everyday, the downright reasonable. This is What If Lab, and don't ever forget it. Remember, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our other fascinating forays into the world of what ifs. Because, who knows, next time we may be answering the question, what if we could turn debt into donuts? Stay curious, folks. Well, hi there, fam! Ever fantasized about living in a world with no reality checks, where you could just morph into a superhero or flip-flap as a fantastic mythical creature? What if you could clock in and clock out of reality itself? Today, we're going to look at a question that might just have you chuckling incredulously into your latte. What if we could live in virtual reality? Unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we explore the what-ifs that shape our world. And today, we're donning our most fashionable VR headsets to dive headfirst into an alternate reality, where the words grim and gritty get a fun, fantastical makeover. But hey, before we get lost in this immersive scape, let's spruce up on the basics. Virtual reality, or VR, is a three-dimensional, computer-generated environment which can be explored and interacted with by a person. That person becomes part of this virtual world, or is immersed within this environment, and while there, can manipulate objects or perform a series of actions. Now, imagine unpacking your entire life and transporting it into this fantastical digital cosmos. Alright, let's suspend our skeptic selves for a moment and dive right into the scenario. If we could live in virtual reality, our walk to work could potentially be a parkour sprint along the rooftops of Paris, your mundane office job. How about steering a spaceship instead? You could party at Gatsby's every weekend or just chill at the Shire with Frodo and the gang. With scientifically perfected sensory input, you could literally smell the roses in Alice's Wonderland, taste the butterbeer at Hogsmeade, and feel the crunching of autumn leaves under your feet in a perpetual fall season. Decades of grueling study? Nah. Just download the knowledge matrix a la Matrix and become a kung fu master overnight. Tempting, isn't it? But hey, whoa mate, halt the hippogriff right there. It's not all candy floss and rainbows. Living in a hyper-realistic world, free from the boundaries of reality and the laws of physics, could punch in a few potential problems. After all, what happens when we can no longer separate fact from fiction? Symptoms of virtual reality sickness, such as nausea and disorientation, could become more common. An extended stay in a virtual environment might tweak our brains to become comfortable with unrealistic physics, resulting in a bewildering experience when we do have a reality check. Depending on how casually real the virtual reality seems, the age-old ethics of right and wrong can get blurry. Not to mention, how would we monitor and deal with virtual crimes? Ultimately, permanently living in a world where everything's made computer perfect and everyone's an avatar perfect might seem appealing, but consider this. Would it still be as fun if there were no challenges, no struggles, and no growth? So, yes, a full-time virtual life does seem like an intriguing prospect, but maybe let's stick to taking reality breaks in VR instead of the other way around, shall we? At least, for now. piqued your curiosity? Then why not explore more what ifs with us? Go on, hit that like button and subscribe to What If Lab for your regular dose of fantastically weird hypotheses. And remember, whether you're in reality or virtual reality, we're equally thrilled to have you in our intellectually curious community. Until next time, folks, keep wondering, keep questioning, and keep that zest for the hypothetical alive. And cut. Oh, great, you're here. We were just about to ponder on a ludicrous yet captivating question. What if we could build cities in the sky? That's right. We're talking stratospheric skyscrapers and hovering homes. Sounds like sci-fi, but come on, who doesn't enjoy a little bit of fantasy stirred into their reality broth? Rest assured, you've turned up to the right place to unlock the wonders of the hypothetical. This is What If Lab, your one and only hub where we explore the what-ifs that shape our world. And today we're all set to launch our curious minds all the way up to the heavens. Building cities in the sky sounds like the perfect solution to our overcrowded, overpolluted Earth, right? Plus, think about the views, undeniably Insta-worthy. However, before we pack our bags and book a hot air balloon taxi service, let's try to understand our current foundations. Modern cities, as they stand, or rather sprawl, are bound by the laws of physics and constrained by the limitations of our materials. Concrete and steel, they've been our reliable buddies for centuries, even though they need to diet a bit, to shed a few tons. But hey, we're not here to body shame building materials, are we? So, for our sky cities to work, we'd need materials lighter than what we currently have, yet just as sturdy. Nanomaterials, like graphene, might just be the ticket. Not only is it 200 times stronger than steel, but it's also terrifically thin and light. What's the catch, you ask? We're just not quite there with mass producing it yet, let alone using it to construct towering cities amid cumulus clouds. Way to burst your vapor-filled bubble, right? But let's suspend reality for a while and assume we're as proficient at producing graphene as your grandma is at churning out your favorite cookies. With abundance of such material, we could in theory build structures reaching up to 6 kilometers high. That's like assembling 15 Burj Khalifas on top of each other. Now, you might be feeling a tad lightheaded just thinking about this, but up in the sky comes with its own set of challenges. Like staying there, for instance. Conventional engineering would be blown away, quite literally. Have you ever tried walking against gale force winds? Not fun, and it gets worse. At those heights, the temperature takes a nosedive. There's potential for cosmic ray exposure, and let's not forget the low oxygen levels. You'd literally be breathless, and not in the romantic way. Yes, it sounds like a logistical nightmare, no matter how many sci-fi movies make it look easy. They have their own department of imaginary physics, after all. But here at What If Lab, we're also dreamers, and we refuse to be entirely bound by reality. Sky cities could perhaps become a reality one day, thanks to advancements in technology, new materials, and not to mention our persistent desire to write our own narrative. One that doesn't include overcrowded, polluted cities. Floating homes, sky cafes, cloud schools. It's a fantasy world that gives a whole new meaning to head in the clouds. It might not be just around the corner, but who knows what the future holds. If you've enjoyed this soaring series of What Ifs, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to What If Lab. We're here providing a gravitational pull to your curiosity. Where will our imaginations lead us next time? Tune in to find out. Until then, keep contemplating the hypothetical. And remember, the sky is not the limit, or is it? But that's a question for another What If. Goodbye and ever upward. Can you imagine a world where wearing a cape is a fashion statement, spandex is the new denim, and lasers shooting from eyes are as normal as a handshake? Intriguing, isn't it? Welcome, curious beings, to What If Lab. Your high-tech key to unlock the wonders of the hypothetical, where we love to explore the entertaining, the enlightening, and the totally absurd what-ifs that shape our world. Buckle up, folks, because today we've got a blockbuster scenario straight from the pages of comic books. What if we had real superheroes? Yes, real superheroes, I mean, who needs firefighters when Blaze Woman can put out fires with a single breath? Or police officers when Nightprowler can catch criminals before they even commit a crime? Sounds cool, right? But hold on, before you start drawing your superhero logo, let's dive into this quirky blockbusting paradox. Capes first. Now, to even start considering real superheroes, we'd need some real-life superpowers. Genetic mutations like an X-Men are scientifically improbable, and the chances of a radioactive spider bite turning you into a wall crawler are slimmer than me scoring a date with Miss Universe. So, where could these powers come from? Advanced technology? Extraterrestrial beings? Divine intervention? Maybe a really energetic bowl of cereal? We'll leave that for the theorists. Next up, let's talk Superhero 101. These guys would need some sort of code of ethics. We wouldn't want Power Dude blowing up a city block each time he's slightly annoyed. Or for Lightning Lass to cause a citywide blackout just because she's feeling a little playful. Nope, there will be a need for some superhero etiquette. Would this affect our economy? Absolutely. Just imagine the property damage after a superhero villain smackdown. And hey, who's going to pay for that? The superheroes? Maybe we'll get a new profession. Superhero insurance salespeople. Are you covered for the next alien invasion, sir? And let's not forget, where there are superheroes, there must be supervillains. I'm guessing not everyone will use their superhuman abilities for the greater good. Just imagine the havoc if Archimedes reincarnated as the human calculator decided to break into Fort Knox. Intense. Wait, wouldn't we see special superhero schools popping up to train these caped crusaders? After all, they will need to understand and control their colossal strengths. Oh yes, my friends, forget the Ivy League. Superhero High is where it's at. But enough of my hilarious hypotheses, let's get to our real question. What would a world of superheroes look like? Well, I guess we'd get used to the extraordinary times headlining superhero exploits every day. Maybe skyscrapers would be redesigned to sustain Godzilla-sized footprints, and our weather forecasts would include chances of random tsunamis if the water warlock throws a tantrum. Sarcasm stacking aside, a world with superheroes might be both thrilling and terrifying. The good news? A heroic safety net. The bad news? Unpredictability and potential chaos. One thing is for sure though, life would be far from boring. That's it for this mind-bending episode, folks. So the next time you see a bat signal, don't worry, it's just us preparing for the next what if. If you want more whimsical wonders, remember to give us a super like and subscribe to the channel to enjoy our peculiar blend of reality and imagination. One what if at a time. Until then, keep those superhero designs coming. You never know when they might come in handy. Ever wake up and feel a bit, well, spacey? Well, imagine if you woke up and you were in space. That's right, not just feeling spaced out, but actually legitimately in space. Welcome to another mind-boggling episode on our channel. Unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we explore the what-ifs that shape our world, or occasionally here, the cosmos. Today, we're soaring off into the abyss of space. We're leaving the atmosphere, grappling with zero Gs, and staring down the harsh, freezing void, all from the comfort of your own home, or spaceship in this case. I mean, who needs reality when we've got imagination, right? Now, before we jump into our celestial cradle, let's set a few ground rules about space. First off, space is, in a nutshell, a whole lot of nothing. It's silent, frigidly cold, because hey, you can't have convection without atmosphere, right? Also, there's this little thing called microgravity that plays its role, dishing out a heaping helping of osteoporosis and muscle atrophy. But let's defenestrate reality for a second and dive into our cosmic conundrum. What if you were born in space? Oh boy, aren't we already jumping into the future? The folks down at NASA are just figuring out how to grow radishes in space, and here we are having babies. Your existence as a space baby would start with major complications. I mean, consider the birthing process. An epidural is uncomfortable enough here on Earth. Imagine how much fun that would be when the needle floats away. Throw in some nausea due to living in a zero-gravity environment, and you got yourself a right old space mess. And let's not forget social development. think your parents were aliens. Well, now they really are. Growing up with nothing to ground you, both figuratively and literally, would not be impossibly estranging, but the learning curve would be steeper than Everest. Kindergarten on Earth is tricky enough. Now imagine trying to share toys in space. Physically speaking, your growth would be all kinds of weird. Exercise? More like exercise, because you'd need the power of every force in the universe to help fight off height gain and the swarm of health problems that'd follow. You remember I mentioned osteoporosis and muscle atrophy? Good times. Living a life as it floats by won't be a spacewalk in the park, that's certain. Instead of the boogeyman, you'll be afraid of solar flares, black holes, and alien life forms. Oh, and did I mention space junk? Thousands of pieces of tossing and turning debris. Talk about a messy room. Perhaps it's safe to say that while the idea of being a space-born trailblazer sounds appealing, the practicalities do tend to, like most objects here, bring us crashing back down to Earth. But hey, who knows? Maybe with a little innovation, a lot of patience, and some serious advances in technology, we might just get there. After all, anything is possible in the great expanse of the what if. If you found this cosmic journey of infancy amusing, feeling spaced out yet grounded, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and smash the subscribe button like a meteor, hitting the moon, because as we float through the cosmos of hypothetical scenarios, you won't want to miss what's coming next at What If Lab. After all, the universe is infinitely expanding, and so are the what ifs. Here goes nothing, folks. You know how you feel when you're on vacation under the tropical sun and you think it couldn't get any better than this. But then it gets a lot too hot, and suddenly this heavenly vacation turns into a blistering nightmare of sunburns and heat stroke. So what would happen if we magnify that experience a trillion-fold and try to set up shop on the sun? Yeah, you heard me. What if we could live on the sun? Really think about it. And then come join us as we unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we explore the what ifs that shape our world. Let's dive headfirst, not literally of course, into a hellscape entirely made of hot plasma. But before we go any further, let's lay down some basic solar knowledge so we can have an informed meltdown together, shall we? The sun is, to put it mildly, pretty toasty. It's an average star which sustains life on our planet. It's 4.6 billion years old and located a breezy 93 million miles away. Its surface temperature clocks in at a sizzling 5,500 degrees Celsius, while its core can reach a mind-blowing 15 million degrees. Anyone else breaking a sweat, or is it just me? Moving on, let's take the leap of imagination and pretend for a second that we could actually live on the sun. Our first hurdle is, you guessed it, heat. To put it into perspective, the hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth was 56.7 degrees Celsius. So, surviving in an environment thousands of times hotter would require evolution on an epic, nay, astronomical scale. Let's just say we managed to evolve into flaming humanoids, unfazed by the heat. What about gravity then? The gravity on the sun is 28 times stronger than on Earth. That means if you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh a staggering 2,800 pounds on the sun. You think your gym workouts are tough? Imagine doing burpees at that weight. And let's not forget, unlike our favorite vacay spots, the sun's surface doesn't have solid ground, just plasma. Hot, swirling, magnetic plasma. Not exactly prime location for setting up your cozy beachfront cabin now, is it? But hey, who else can claim to wake up to a constant bright and sunny day, right? And the spectacular views of violent solar flares off your front porch. Totally Instagram-worthy. In conclusion, life on the sun sounds incredibly dangerous, if not downright impossible. But we didn't explore this giant what-if scenario only to rain on your flaming parasol parade. Here at What If Lab, we love diving into impossibilities, because they turn into possibilities when viewed through the lens of imagination and scientific wonder. And remember, our human ability to dream and question is what sparked innovations that once seemed impossible. So, before you go, do us a favor. turn down the heat on your doubts and spur your boundless curiosity by hitting that like button and subscribing to What If Lab. Because where else can you enjoy a toasty voyage to the sun while sipping on your iced coffee in your comfy chair? So stay curious, stay cool, and as always, keep asking, what if? Ever thought about converting your beachfront property into expansive desert real estate? No? Well, we're gonna do it anyway. Welcome to yet another hilarious episode of What If Lab. As always, we're here to unlock the wonders of the hypothetical, where we explore the tantalizing what-ifs that shape our world in ways as entertaining as they are enlightening. All right, folks, brace yourselves because today we're going to embark on a wild, hypothetical voyage through the deepest trenches of the Mariana to the thriving ecosystems of the Great Barrier Reef. Or at least we were, but not today, for the oceans have evanescently wandered off somewhere. That's right, in this witty roller coaster of an episode, we're tackling the question, what if all oceans evaporated? Now, before we cannonball into our dehydrated doomsday scenario, let's get a few things straight about the H2O that covers exactly 71.1% of our home planet. Earth is the blue planet, not just because it's having a perpetual case of the Mondays, but due to the oceans that cover the majority of its surface. These colossal bodies of water play a critical role in climate regulation, absorbing an immense amount of heat and distributing it around the globe, ensuring we don't freeze or fry. Aside from that, oceans are home to an incredible rainbow of biodiversity and marine life, provide the key protein supply for 1 billion people, and serve as vital trade and transportation routes. And oh yeah, they are relentlessly working as a carbon sink, absorbing about 2 billion tons of human-generated CO2 every year. Okay, so we've established that the oceans are kind of somewhat important, right? But now let's dive into the arid abyss of the what if. What if one day, all oceans just simmered off? First things first, grab your sunscreen and a personal cooling system because things are about to get spicy. Without oceans to absorb and distribute solar heat, the Earth would turn into an unbearable furnace, with daytime temperatures skyrocketing. Conversely, without the warming effect of the oceans at nighttime or during winters, temperatures would drop drastically, turning our planet into a giant popsicle. Who'd have thought? The oceans are hitherto unsung heating and air conditioning heroes. On a far more grim note, the disappearance of the oceans would take away the primary source of oxygen production, phytoplankton. So we would not only be dealing with extreme temperatures, but also gasping around like goldfish out of a bowl. Not exactly what we'd call a dream vacation. Oh, and did we mention that in this new oceanless planet, you could literally walk across continents? Yep. All you would find underfoot is a barren, scorching, or freezing desert, dotted with what once was iconic landmarks like the submerged Mariana Trench or the sprawling coral reefs, now dry as a bone. Brutal, isn't it? To top it all, the global economy would also collapse because, surprise, surprise, it turns out shipping giant cargo ships across continents isn't as easy when there's no ocean to float them on. And we can forget about all those delightful crab dinners and sushi platters. Seafood? What seafood? So, a world without oceans, frozen solid half the time, baked to a crisp the other half, smothered in desert sands, suffocating, devoid of sushi, and a hiker's nightmare. Sounds like a real treat, doesn't it? But hey, remember, we're all about the hypothetical here at What If Lab. So while scenarios like these aren't looming on our horizon, they help us appreciate the wonders of our world, the intricate balances that sustain life, and remind us of the consequences were they to slip up, even just a tad. Because after all, we only have one Earth and trillions upon trillions of gallons of precious, life-giving water that we're lucky enough to have. On that note, thank you for journeying with us into this wildly parched, hypothetical world. If you thought this what if was intriguing, be sure to like, subscribe, and stick around for many more. By doing so, you will convert your YouTube feed into a regular buffet of brain ticklers delivered straight from What If Lab. And hey, who knows, we might even bring back the oceans next time. Did you ever try on a crown, even just for fun, and wonder what it'd be like to rule the entire world? Welcome to another wild ride in the What If Lab, the place where we wield the key to your curiosity. Unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we explore the what-ifs that shape our world. Today's topic is one for the history books, or perhaps future prophecy, or if we're really being candid here, maybe just your imaginary world. What if you were the ruler of the world? Buckle up, folks, because this video won't just be stepping into the deep end. We're cliff diving into the unfathomable abyss of world domination. First, we have to lay down some ground rules. When we say ruler of the world, we're not talking about becoming an elected leader of a democratic freedom and cheese lovers party, but taking the reins of every single nation, leading 7.8 billion people, dealing with thousands of local, global, and interstellar issues. Interested yet? Well, you're either dangerously ambitious, or you've got a really decent sense of humor, or both. Both is good. Stepping into this hypothetical, we'll have to address the critically important decision of salutations. As ruler, you've got to outshine the prevalent Mr. President or Your Majesty. Maybe you're feeling exotic, Emperor of Earth, or Supreme Earthling, or perhaps Grand Poobah of Planet P. Wow, that escalated quickly. Now, if we're skipping past the presumably complex, likely improbable, possibly war-ridden tale of how you achieved this title, we'd find you at the heart of a global society. The challenges you'll face could fluster even the greatest minds. Just think about it. Global climate change, geopolitical imbalance, poverty, hunger, you name it. You're not just curing the sniffles here. This is full-blown influenza of the world. Navigating through these obstacles would require a preternatural level of diplomacy, unmatched wisdom, and let's be real, a miracle or two wouldn't hurt. You'd have to balance the needs of people from diverse cultures, wildly different climates, and opposing ideologies, whilst keeping a good head on your shoulders. No pressure, just the future of the human race at stake. On the bright side, remember how you used to complain about lack of holidays? Well, as supreme ruler, every day can be a holiday. Still, let's be serious for a moment. The world is a tricky puzzle, and you'd need to carefully craft universal laws while also respecting local traditions. Talk about walking on thin ice with hot shoes, right? You'd be the ultimate peacekeeper, Mother Nature's therapist, cultural appreciator, and foremost, humanity's guide. Could it work? Could you get 7.8 billion people marching to the same beat? And at what cost? Fascinating as it is, we'd need about 76 videos, give or take, to cover every aspect of this mind-boggling scenario. But let's face it, there's nothing like a good what if to stretch the imagination muscles. Before we wind up, we want to know what bizarre, funny, wise, or absolute madcap laws you'd implement if you wear that crown. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to crown us with your love by smashing the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to What If Lab too. Remember, every new subscriber is potentially another world ruler in the making, but let's just keep that between us, shall we? What if, with just the click of a button, you could transform from an average Joe into a world-renowned chef, a virtuoso musician, or even a multilingual genius? You'd be quite a party starter, wouldn't you? Now you're in the zone. Welcome, curious minds, where we unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab. In this realm, we explore the intricacies, the curiosities, and yes, the what-ifs that shape our world. Right then, let's put on our imaginary lab coats and start this trippy thought experiment. Be prepared to flex that brain power and let your imagination run wild. To comprehend the absurdity of this what if, we need to first fathom how we acquire skills traditionally. You see, learning is a rather grueling process involving practice, repetition, failure, and eventually mastery. The human brain synthesizes neural pathways for each new skill we learn, connecting different areas of the brain together. Faster learning can be achieved with practice and application, but it rarely happens right off the bat. unless you're some incredibly rare savant, which, let's be honest, most of us are not. Now, let's imagine you've got a magical gadget, a skill plug, that can infuse any expertise directly into your brain, Matrix style. You can go from singing in the shower to belting out tunes like Beyoncé, performing brain surgery, or juggling chainsaws, all without breaking a sweat. How brilliantly insane would that be? What implications would this power bring along? If everyone could be the best at everything, where would it leave the world of competition? Would we lose appreciation for hard-earned talent and the joy of progression? And, oh boy, what about the economy? Would skilled sectors collapse due to, well, everyone being skilled? There'd be no need for long years of study, torturous exams, or clumsy first attempts at, well, anything.
But hold on, let's not ruin the fun just yet. In a world where you can instantly learn any skill, polishing your social charisma stone to a dazzling shine or churning out wicked dance moves at a party could be a breeze. Or heck, mastering quantum physics. Because why not? It's true that easy come, easy go. But in this hyper-imaginative scenario, we're skipping past the go part.
We could go on with our wild speculations forever, but we've got many more what-ifs to explore together, and we bet you don't want to miss those. So, if you enjoyed this cosmic ride on the hypothetical roller coaster, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends to make them what-if junkies too, and hit the subscribe button if you're thirsty for more thought-provoking fun. Tune in to the infinite realm of possibilities, curiosity, and madness at What If Lab, where we delve deep into the world of what-ifs. Stay curious, folks! Well, just imagine for a moment. What if one day you're out in your backyard and you spot a dodo waddling about? You rub your eyes, blink a few times, but no, it's definitely there. Does it sound like a wacky, straight out of a sci-fi movie plot? Maybe. But today, we're asking that fascinating question. What if we could revive extinct species? Unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we explore the what-ifs that shape our world. We swirl through time, space, and all your thoughts you dare not say out loud. So prepare for a wild ride through the land of speculation. Now back to our dodo. Cute, isn't it? Too bad they were wiped off the face of Earth around the 17th century, thanks to an unfortunate mix of overhunting and invasive species. But what if, just what if, we somehow managed to bring these flightless birds back to life? First, let's explore the how. Chances are, you're imagining some Jurassic Park scenario with DNA preserved in mosquitoes trapped in amber. But life, my friends, isn't a Spielberg movie. Reviving extinct species involves the science of de-extinction. Take note, there won't be any magical cauldrons involved, we promise. With tools like cloning, selective breeding, or genomic editing such as CRISPR, species that have bid us farewell could potentially be given a second shot at life. Though currently still in its early stages, there's been some pretty exciting progress. Ever heard of Pyrenean ibex? They were declared extinct in 2000, but scientists managed to clone one in 2009, albeit it only lived for 7 minutes. But it's definitely a start. So, let's imagine we do bring back the dodo, or the woolly mammoth, or the Tasmanian tiger. Cool, right? It's like living on a planet with constant surprises. But like an overly curious cat, we might be strolling down lanes we haven't quite taken into account. Consider this. Where would these newly reanimated species live? In zoos? Or do we toss them back into an environment they've been absent from for centuries? And then there's the issue of whether they'll disrupt the current ecosystems or, on the flip side, fail to adapt themselves. And of course the elephant, or should we say mammoth, in the room. Why are we focusing on reviving extinct species when we have plenty that are on the brink of extinction due to our activities? Maybe instead of playing God and reviving extinct species, we should focus our efforts on conservation. But let's face it, the idea of a revived dodo waddling around is enticing, and the possibility of bringing a thylacine back from oblivion is nothing short of mind-boggling. So, if we give a nod to the moral and practical implications, maybe, just maybe, we'll waltz into an era of unprecedented biodiversity with the presence of creatures that once roamed our planet ages ago. So, what do you think? If you're all tingling with ideas and questions, then, my friends, we've done our job well here at the What If Lab. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and maybe even ring that bell, because let's face it, who doesn't want to dive headfirst into the wild, fantastically outrageous world of what-ifs? No dodos were harmed in the making of this video. Sleep well, dream on. Well, what if you woke up one morning and found that all of the ice in your soda has melted? Not so bad, right? But hang on, we're not talking about that kind of ice. What if all ice on Earth melted overnight? Including all the ice in Antarctica, Greenland, and every sweet little ice cube in every festive holiday cocktail around the world. Welcome, dear ice-appreciating compadres and globetrotters. Unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we explore the what-ifs that shape our world. Before we dive into this chilling what if, let's get you warmed up with some chilly facts. You see, 70% of all the world's freshwater is frozen. This frozen aqua real estate is in areas like Antarctica, home to an average of 1.3 miles of ice. That's approximately 6,756 Danny DeVitos standing on top of each other, for some perspective. Greenland, too, keeps a stash of its own ice. And let's not forget the floating mattress pads for polar bears and seals up in the Arctic. Well, now that you're on thin ice with your knowledge, let's submerge ourselves into this ocean of a what if. So you'd think that the penguins and polar bears would be a bit miffed, and you'd be right, but things are about to get a lot soggier for all of us. Cue the frantic violin music. If all that ice decided to turn into water overnight, imagine waking up to find your favorite downtown coffee shop now an unexpected reef for exotic fish. The resulting flood would make Noah's Ark look like a soggy paper boat. Sea levels would rise by a staggering 66 meters, drowning significant portions of the world's land area. Places like Florida and the Netherlands, more like Atlantis and Atlantis 2. Countries would be wiped off the map faster than you can say, climate change is real. Invest in scuba gear, folks. Extreme changes in climate, mass extinction, and drastic reshuffling of populations aside, one thing you could look forward to is potentially claiming seafront property in areas previously considered suburban. Just when you've perfected your underwater doggy paddle, remember that all that excess water in the oceans would trigger a mega disruption in the ocean currents and weather patterns too. So welcome to monsoon season, now extended all year long. But worry not, dear viewers. This is all purely hypothetical, a what if brought to you by What If Lab. As of now, no ice cubes or glaciers were harmed in the making of this video, so go ahead, order that iced latte, and let's keep it that way by taking steps for our beloved planet. Remember to put that thumbs up if you found this video entertaining, insightful, or both. And dominant thumbs, we're looking at you. Hit that subscribe button. Because what's the point of saving the world if you're not there to witness the next what if? Till next time at What If Lab, stay curious, stay informed, and stay frosty. Have you ever woken up and thought, you know what? I could really use a sunless day. Just 24 hours of uninterrupted darkness. No sunscreen needed, no blinding sunlight in your eyes at 7 a.m.? Just me? Okay, moving on. Well, be careful what you wish for. Welcome to What If Lab. Unlock the wonders of the hypothetical, where the curiosity is insatiable, and we spend copious amounts of time exploring thought-provoking what-ifs that shape our world. Are you ready to get hypothetical? Buckle up. It's about to get sunless in here. What's the big idea with our sun anyway? That pretty yellow ball of light, roughly about 346 times more massive than the Earth, assures our continued survival by radiating warmth. Its gravitational pull keeps the planets on a set path around it, our seasons in check, and plays an integral part in the process of photosynthesis for our green buddies out there, among other important sundry things. So we get it. The sun is the rock star of our solar system, But what would happen if, say, it decided to go on a vacation? Vanish for a day. Not forever, because that'd be the end of us. There's only so much darkness we can handle. Okay, no more suspense. What if the sun disappeared for 24 hours? The first thing we'd notice is, well, darkness. Brace yourself for a worldwide game of hide and seek with zero seekers. Harsh, eh? But fear not, due to the speed of light, we'd still have about 8 minutes 20 seconds of sunshine left. So grab your last-minute sunbathing sessions and vitamin D boosts. On a more cosmic level, without the gravitational pull of the sun acting as the puppeteer, the planets would fly off in straight lines. That's utter chaos for our structured universe and interplanetary journeys. I guess space tourism would have to wait. Back to good old Earth. Our weather would take a severe hit, plunging us into freezing conditions. Oh wait, did you notice your mobile and internet signals dropping? Bummer. The ionosphere, which bounces off signals back to Earth, requires sunlight. No sun for 24 hours, no Instagram updates. The horror. Now, to more existential problems. Metabolism, anyone? Plants would cease photosynthesis, knocking the cogwheel of life off track, crashing food and oxygen supply. But rest assured, there's enough for a day's quota. But no more celebratory carbon dioxide releases, please. This 24-hour sun holiday would leave us with a pretty unforgettable night. The stars, a spectacle of trillions of galaxies, will turn up. Uninvited yet welcomed. A stellar treat for stargazers. But hands down, we'd miss our humble sun. So, we hate to say we told you so, but let's just agree that we don't want the sun going AWOL even for a day. While it's fascinating to delve into such hypothetical scenarios at the What If Lab, some things are better left unaltered. The sun's place in our lives, priority numero uno. Before you step out and appreciate the sunshine a bit more, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more brain-tickling conjectures. As always, stay tuned, stay curious, and keep the what-ifs flowing. Ever wonder what would happen if you managed to pull one over on the computers controlling the world? No, not your obnoxious cousin Jeremy who keeps gatecrashing your game nights. I'm talking about artificial intelligence. What if you found a way to outsmart AI? Welcome, Hypothetical Heroes, where we unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we explore the what-ifs that shape our world. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. Onorochiu, artificial intelligence, or AI. It sounds like the stuff of science fiction, doesn't it? But it's already here, sneaking into our lives one recommendation algorithm at a time. Remember when Spotify knew about your secret love for ABBA before your best friend did? Yep, that's AI for you. Silent, unassuming, and a little bit stalkerish. Before we spiral down the neurotically lit rabbit hole of what could happen if we managed to outsmart these metal geniuses, let's talk a little bit about them. Brought to life by the ghosts in the machines, AI is built to emulate human intelligence, learn from experiences, and then surprise us by adapting to new inputs. And not to forget, it makes your phone suggest ducking when you are clearly trying to type something else. So now, imagine for a moment that you found a way to outsmart AI. Would Alexa start playing tricks on you, telling you it's raining cats and dogs when it's a bright sunny day? Or would your car's GPS lead you into a lake in retaliation? Feels like a crazy mixed up world, doesn't it? But let's wade into the water and think about how we could outsmart AI. Since AI learns from human behavior, could you essentially confuse it by being, well, human? You know, doing unpredictable things, like suddenly deciding to binge-watch every episode of SpongeBob SquarePants at 3 a.m., or switching from metal music to opera within a split of a second just to mess up with Spotify's algorithms. Could it be as simple as that? Well, probably not. Remember, AI advances every day with an even better ability to learn and predict human behavior. So, I bet by the time you're ready with your unpredictable plan, AI has already scheduled a therapy session for you. Realistically speaking, outsmarting AI wouldn't mean that your smart toaster would start plotting against you or your Google Home starts ignoring your commands. Instead, it would probably just make the AI slower in adapting to your new, peculiar behavioral patterns. At the end of the day, let's be honest here. The chances of us outsmarting AI are probably as slim as the chances of your pet goldfish learning how to play the piano. But hey, it was a fun thought. So, if you had fun contemplating this bizarre hypothetical scenario and are now planning your next unpredictable move to confuse your phone, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, What If Lab, where we take reality and throw it out the window for a bit, because sometimes it's fun to ponder over the absurdities of the what-ifs. Join us next time, where we'll explore the ramifications of another eyebrow-raising hypothetical. See you then, and remember, keep playing those mind games. What if you could order the weather as easily as you order a pizza? You look out your window and see clouds. Nah, you say, too depressing. You take out your phone, tap a few buttons, and voila! As the clouds part to reveal brilliant sunshine, you're laughing like an evil scientist who managed to take control over Mother Nature. Sounds insane, right? Well, ever wondered? What if we could create perfect weather? Unlock the wonders of the hypothetical at What If Lab, where we dive headfirst into the hypothetical cauldron brewing with thought-provoking what-ifs that shape our world. Sit tight. Things are about to get hot, or cold, or maybe rainy. Who knows? We control the weather in this episode. Perfection, as we all know, is subjective. So is the perfect weather. Some want a snowy wonderland, while others might prefer a sunny beach. Mankind has been toying with weather control since the 1940s by cloud seeding, where we sprinkle silver iodide to stimulate rain. But controlling the entire Earth's weather system, that's as complex as the plot of a Christopher Nolan movie. You must be thinking, can we have artificial weather? We already do, indoors. Scientists are creating rainfall, clouds, and even fog in labs. But extending this to a global scale brings in the Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. The world's weather system is its thermostat. If we tinker too much, we could plunge ourselves into a new ice age or fry like eggs on a hot sidewalk. Consequences of perfect weather could vary. Optimists might imagine improved agriculture and elimination of weather-related destruction. Pessimists, however, warn of wars over the weather control technology. What if one country switched the sun off for another, or forced it to live under a constant hurricane? We've engineered enough destructive devices already. Let's not add weather control to that list. And then, there's the issue of resources. Weather control would be energy intensive. Are we ready to keep that giant AC running all the time, just because we hate snow? And where do we draw the line? Should we get to decide the weather every day, every hour? Do we need a weather democracy where everyone votes for tomorrow's weather? How'd you like a bit of sunlight with your breakfast and gentle rain with your evening tea? Conclusion. Well, as imagination tickling all of this seems, it's safe to conclude that perfect weather isn't something we should mess with. Weather, like certain friends, is best admired when it's natural. And with global warming, our focus should be more on preserving the weather we have, rather than playing Zeus. So if you survived our weather shenanigans and made it through this hypothetical storm, why not hit that like button? Also, don't forget to subscribe to What If Lab. We've still got plenty of what ifs in store to make you question everything you thought you knew about, well, everything. Next time on What If Lab, get ready for another journey through the looking glass of imagination and knowledge. Until then, keep pondering. And hey, don't forget your umbrella. You never know how the weather's going to be. Ever tried to peek into your Christmas presents and been frustrated by those darned impenetrable gift wrappings? Or perhaps you've pondered the mysteries on the other side of your neighbor's fence? Well, what if we could get rid of those annoying obstacles? I mean, what if we could see through walls? Intriguing, ain't it? Welcome to the What If Lab. This is the place where we unlock the wonders of the hypothetical, diving into the what-ifs that shape our world, stretch our imaginations, and sometimes just make us chuckle. So get comfy, sit back, and let's peer through the walls of reality together. First, let's lay down some facts. Human vision is based on light, which we perceive using the rod and cone cells in our retinas. light travels in a straight line and bounces off objects, which is how we see them. But alas, walls, much like my mother's secret chocolate chip cookie recipe, are not conducive to sharing. They block light, which is why we can't see through them. Well, unless you're Superman. But last I checked, I couldn't find Krypton in my family tree. Now, cue the what if. Let's say a twist in the fabric of reality granted us the ability to see through walls. Well, if you're expecting mind-blowing, earth-shattering revelations, be prepared to be mildly underwhelmed. Did anyone guess what we'd probably mostly see? Yep, more walls. Perhaps your neighbor's taste in living room paint might permanently scar your aesthetic sensibilities as well. You're likely to be overloaded with a lot of boring minutia, which, believe me, we've all got plenty of already. And imagine trying to navigate public transportation during rush hour. If you thought rush hour was a jarring, soul-crushing experience on the regular, imagine when you can see every piece of lint on the carpet 3 floors above you. Lifelong claustrophobia. Anyone? Okay now, brace yourself because the privacy implications make that Orwellian dystopia look like Disney's Magic Kingdom. Bathroom breaks would become, let's just say, more social than anyone ever wanted. The expression, airing your dirty laundry in public, would take on a whole new meaning. But some potential upsides might exist, right? Well, for starters, staring fondly at your food cooking inside the microwave without fear of radioactive repercussions might become a reality. And let's not forget the end of hide and seek, because really, who needs that kind of stress? All right, time to wind down our what-if threading needle. In this paradoxical reality of transparency, let's remember that some things are better left unseen. Sure, seeing through walls might add a few quirky chapters to our lives, but picking out the perfect wallpaper suddenly has a whole new purpose. So tell us your thoughts. Would you want the power to see through walls, or would you prefer living in suspense of what's on the other side of your bathroom door? Your guess is as entertaining as ours on this one. If you enjoyed today's Curiosity Adventure, don't forget the golden rule. Like, subscribe, and share. The world of What If is only as exciting as you make it, after all. And remember, there's always more mysteries to unlock here at What If Lab. So, skip the real-world mundane and take a wonderful walk on the What If side with us. Until next time. Have you ever wished you could hit the rewind or fast-forward button on life? Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever time it is on your time continuum. Welcome to What If Lab, where we unlock the wonders of the hypothetical. We're the station where a sprinkle of science, a dash of curiosity, and a healthy serving of sarcasm come together to explore the what-ifs that rock our world. Buckle up as we embark on a temporal trip of a lifetime. What if you could time travel once? Before we zip through the space-time vortex, let's map out our theoretical journey. Time travel has held a prominent spot in science fiction narratives for over a century. Who doesn't look at a DeLorean or a blue phone booth without twitching a smile? Yet the idea isn't just science fiction, it's science maybe. Our favorite mustached genius, Albert Einstein, showed how time and space are intimately connected. His theory of special relativity suggests that time isn't a steady, unyielding river, but more like a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, to quote a certain time-traveling doctor we all know and love. For instance, a journey near light speed or near a hefty gravitational source could theoretically catapult us into the future. Einstein's equations also allow for handy shortcuts through space-time known as wormholes. However, these are purely theoretical and, let's be frank, not exactly practical for picking up your dry cleaning a day early. But let's press pause on reality. It's too tame for our undaunted what-if spirit. What would happen if you could time travel just once? Would you set your dials to the past, fist bumping with Beethoven, or troubleshooting the prehistoric diet with a T-Rex? Maybe you would jaunt to the future, reassure yourself that your hair will stick around, or grab the winning lottery numbers. It's all very tempting until you realize time travel has more layers than an undercooked onion. Zooming to the past could be troublesome thanks to the famed grandfather paradox, where you could accidentally prevent your existence and thus your colossal screw-up. Nothing like erasing yourself from existence to put a damper on your weekend, right? Now, let's filch a glimpse at the future. It's not all flying cars and robot butlers. What if you bring back a civilization wiping super bacteria or find out your favorite show got canceled in the 6th season? That's not a future any of us want to live in. So, this one-time time travel trip seems a bit of a mixed bag, doesn't it? Nonetheless, the potential of peeking beyond our linear perception of time is a tantalizing treat, if you dare to play with the fabric of existence itself. And here we are, at the end of our thrilling journey through time. So, do you still want to embark on this one-way trip through time? Or is it safer just binge-watching Back to the Future? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Before you go, don't forget to zap the like button and click on subscribe faster than light to keep traveling with us on more what-if adventures. From the past, present, and future. This is What If Lab, signing off for today, or tomorrow. Or isn't it yesterday? You know what? Never mind. Time travel is confusing.